Okay, good evening. Welcome to the February 18, 2025 voting meeting of the Exeter Township School Board. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Fike, could you take roll call, please?
Jason Mell,
Here.
Julia Schaefer,
Here.
Deborah Bloom,
Here.
Dr. Andrea Battler,
Here.
John Fiddler,
Here.
Dr. Ann Herring, Timothy Morgan,
Here.
Travis Odom, Allison Wilson,
Here.
8 present, 1 absent.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fike. In addition to the 8 board members in attendance this evening, we were also joined at the board table by our solicitor Sharon Montaigne and members of the school district administration, including Dr. Christy Haller, superintendent, Mrs. Dawn Harris, assistant superintendent, Dr. Josh Hoyt, director of teaching and learning, Mrs. Diane Skornovaki, director of human resources, and Mr. Brian Fike, who serves as our business administrator and board secretary. First up, we're going to go to superintendent's report with Dr. Haller.
Thank you, Mr. Mell. I'd like to welcome, we have some Repton staff here with us this evening, so welcome to the board meeting. Hopefully it's not too terribly long for you. So I'd like to first begin by addressing the end of the lease with Happy Landing. So I do have a prepared statement I'd like to read so I don't miss any of the important details. So on February 8th, the lease between the Exeter Township School District, the owner of the property of Happy Landings, and the Exeter Township concluded the use of the community park. Over the course of the last several years, the township has been returning the park to an open space before they return the property, which is located in the borough of St. Lawrence, back to the school district. This spring, the township will conclude this work, which will include removing the exercise circuit, which is in disrepair, and demolishing the bathrooms, which have been closed to the community for a number of years due to constant vandalism. I would like to thank the township for all the years that they maintained the park and their cooperation in returning it to open space. The public will continue to have use of the basketball courts and the tennis courts. I would like to remind the community that to access the tennis courts, the Exeter Township residents will need to complete a form and pay a $5 deposit to obtain a key to the courts. The form and other information can be found in our website, and this will be sent out via Parent Square later today, or later this evening. This is to ensure that our tennis courts, which are used by our high school tennis team and other students, remain in good condition. Lastly, due to the safety concerns, please note that a gate will be placed at the entrance to the parking lot so that the access to the park will be limited to daylight hours only. So again, thank you. Larry Pearsall is here from the Exeter Township School District with us this evening, and I just want to thank you, Larry, for all your years of maintaining that park and having it be a nice space for the kids of the Exeter Township School District in St. Lawrence. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Haller. I did forget to announce we will not be amending tonight's agenda, just to make that clear. Moving on to public comments on agenda items. No one has signed up unless someone would like to come up and speak. Okay, seeing none, we're going to move forward. Next is board meeting minutes. If there are no objections, we'll adopt a motion to approve meeting minutes from the January 7th, 2025 special voting meeting and committee of the whole meeting, as well as the January 21st, 2025 board voting meeting. Okay, hearing no objections, the minutes are approved. Treasurer's report and payment requests. If there are no objections, we'll adopt a motion to approve the January 2025 Treasurer's report and payment requests dated January 23rd, 2025 to February 18th, 2025. Okay, hearing no objections, the Treasurer's report and payment requests are approved. Moving on to committees, education with Mrs. Wilson.
Yes, first I have 2 things to report. That is the enrollment report and 20 field trips that are within the 60-mile radius. Then I have, it is recommended that the Board of School Directors approve the dual enrollment agreement with Immaculata University.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries.
It is recommended that the Board of School Directors approves the following education committee items, 1 through 7.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I just want to point out that Dr. Hoyt mentioned that he was able to get the shipping for the Algebra 1 and math test books.
Yeah,
Yes?
the original quote for shipping for the math was $7,920, and we got that reduced by 50%, so.
That's great. Did you show him our board meeting from last time? Is that what brought him over?
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
All right, thank you. Any other discussion?
I have a question about one of the conferences. Is that in this item?
Yes.
Allison? The title Sunday 1 training to better utilize this evidence-based curriculum, et cetera, et cetera. High price tag, is that for all of the attendees or is that per attendee?
Which conference were you referring to, Mr.
The
Phillips?
Sunday 1 training?
Yeah, there are 4 teachers associated with that, and that's through Imagine Learning. That is for our students with special needs. It's a very specific training, so.
Right, but my question was, is that price for all 4 of them or is that per attendee
That's the overall cost.
for all 4?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries.
That's everything for me.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Wilson. With Dr. Hearing's absence, Mrs. Schaefer, would you mind taking Personnel Committee?
Absolutely. Let me get it. It is recommended the Board of School Directors approves or ratifies the following personnel items. And just to highlight, the items in bold have been added or changed since the committee of the whole meeting. 1, resignations. 2, retirements. 3, appointments. 5, additional assignments. And 6, leaves of absence. And 7 is the attached job description for the security personnel.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries.
It is recommended this Board of School Directors approves or ratifies the personnel items number 8, which is attached list of course requests.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries.
That is it for personnel, Mr. Mill.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Schaefer. Finance and Audit Committee, Mr. Morgan.
Did we vote on transfers number 4? I thought we went from 3 to 5. We did? Okay, my apologies. All right, Finance and Audit. We will be voting on the consent agenda. It is recommended the Board of School Directors approves the following Finance and Audit items, numbers 1 through,
Actually, can you do 1 separately, because that needs to be a roll call?
Roll call. Okay.
absolutely. So we'll be voting on the Finance and Committee consent agendas. It is recommended the Board of School Directors approves the following Finance and Audit items, numbers 2 and 3.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries.
It is recommended the Board of School Directors approves the 25-26 Berks County Intermediate Unit mandated service budget. On January 16, 2025, the Berks County Intermediate Unit Board of Directors approved the proposal for the 25-26 BCIU budget, which includes the mandated services proposed budget totaling $191,504. Attached is a detailed copy of the BCIU mandated service proposed budget. The proposed budget reflects a 3% overall increase for members of school district contributions in order to continue to provide high-quality services and technical assistance to our school districts while holding cost increases to a minimum.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Mr. Fike.
Question. Well, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No?
What is, the 2.19 million, that's the whole shooting match, right? Do we know what Exeter's portion of that is?
$48,000, is that the one? $48,043.96. Estimated district withholding, is that the correct number, Brian? Or is it $47,606.02? Okay.
Thank you. That's all I needed.
Mr. Fike, could we do roll call, please?
Yes. Dr. Andrea Battler,
Yes.
Deborah Bloom,
Yes.
John Fiddler,
Yes,
Dr. Ann Herring, Jason Mell,
Yes.
Timothy Morgan,
Yes.
Travis Odom,
Yes.
Julia Schaefer,
Yes.
Allison Wilson,
Yes.
8 affirmative, 1 absent.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fike.
That's all I have, Mr. Mull. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Morgan. Facilities and Transportation Committee with Dr. Battler.
Thank you. It is recommended that the Board of School Directors approves the following facilities and transportation items. The updated transportation agreement between Cottage 7 Academy and the Exeter Township School District for the transportation for 2 students, from Cottage 7 Academy to the residents during the 24-25 school year, per diem rate of $150 per day for a total of $12,750. And yeah, I guess we should just do that one first. Sorry.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries.
Finally, it is recommended that the Board of School Directors approve the agreement between Exeter Township and Exeter Township School District concerning the scenic community park Happy Landings lease ending.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries.
That is all for me, I'm sorry.
All right, that's okay. Thank you, Dr. Battler. And Policy Committee with Mrs. Bloom.
It is recommended that the Board of School Directors approves the following policies that are listed for second reading. 011, Policy 317.1, 803, 805, 805.1, 805.2, 806, and 807.
Second.
second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, ayes have it, motion carries.
That's all for me.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Bloom. Athletics and extracurricular activities, Mr. Odom.
Thank you, Mr. Mel. The boys basketball are playing the first round of the districts tonight against Middletown at, tip-off was about 15 minutes ago. They don't have a score update. And then spring sports are about to kick off into full swing.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Exeter Community Education Foundation, Mrs. Schaefer.
Thank you, Mr. Mel. Let's see here. So ECF is hard at work with planning their April 5th Sorta Run 5K, which will be held at Trout Run Sports Complex. This event is to celebrate Owaton Creek's 4th grade teacher, Miss Elise Achenbach, who has qualified for the Boston Marathon. They are also starting to plan for their 4th annual food truck festival, which will be held on Friday, May 16th, and their golf outing will be held on Monday, August 4th. That is it.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Schaefer. Berks Career and Technology Center Joint Operating Committee and the BCIU Board of Directors, Mr. Fiddler.
I'll take BCIU first. The next meeting will be Thursday night. BCTC, there's big news there. They've just announced the opening for registration for this year's BCTC Career Camp from June 16th to 20th at the Leesport campus. The deadline for registration is May 16th. It is designed for 6th through 8th graders. Cost is $50 per student for the week. And the areas that they'll focus on will be cosmetology, culinary arts, electrical occupations, precision and computerized machine technology, and recreational and power equipment technology. So registration started today, and I'm hoping that perhaps the district could put that on the website to remind our students. It's a terrific opportunity for kids to get a first look at the BCTC. And that's all for me.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fiddler. Back to Mrs. Schaefer with the Legislative PSBA Liaison.
Thank you, Mr. Mel, again. In legislative news, as we're all aware, Governor Shapiro delivered his third budget address before a joint session of the General Assembly on February 7th. Both chambers are now adjourned, and the House and Senate Appropriations Committees will begin to conduct separate hearings regarding Governor Shapiro's proposed budget in the next coming weeks. The Department of Education is scheduled for budget hearings on February 24th in the House and February 26th in the Senate. House Bill 201, Intermediate Unit Facilities, was passed of the House Representatives with a bipartisan vote of 155 to 47. This legislation allows intermediate units to purchase land and buildings for instructional purposes, office space, and warehouse facilities. Currently, the IUs are required to rent properties. And let's see here. In PSBA news, PSBA Trust Scholarships are now open. These are student leader scholarships. There's 4 of those. One recognizes a student planning to pursue a bachelor's degree in education. The second supports a student planning to pursue a bachelor's degree in public safety, criminology, forensics, and other law enforcement or safety majors. The third one honors students who have served as student representatives in their local school board during their high school academic career. And the fourth recognizes a student planning to pursue a bachelor's degree in fine arts. Those need to be completed by March 14th, and you can visit psbatrust.org. And that is it.
Thank you, Mrs. Schaefer. Township Borough Liaison, Mr. Morgan.
Thank you, Mr. Mel. A couple things. First of all, Dr. Heller and I, about 2 weeks ago, attended the next meeting for the St. Lawrence, Exeter, Amity, Douglas Joint Comprehensive Plan. We now have an official logo, which looks great. The acronym for it is SEED, which we will refer to from now on, I guess. I just want to say that I think that the meetings have been really interesting. It's a good opportunity for us. They've been, they invite the school districts to come, and that would be Daniel Boone, Boyertown, and Exeter. Exeter's continued to be a presence there and has been able to share what I think is valuable information with the town, with the other townships in the county as to things that we're seeing within our community. The next meeting is one that we hope that we'll see attendance for from our community. It is the open forum. It's a kind of a roundtable setting. That's for anybody within the 4 areas that they can come to. There are 2 meetings set, and we'll post this flyer that we have to the website, and I assume we'll put it on the calendar as well.
We'll put it out through Parent Square.
And we'll put it out through Parent Square. Perfect. So the first one is on March 4th from 6 to 8 p.m., and that'll be held at the Daniel Boone Area Middle School Auditorium. The second one is March 6th from 4 to 6 p.m., and that'll be held at the Exeter Township Junior High School Auditorium. And I just want to read what they say here. Amity Township, Douglas Township, Exeter Township, and St. Lawrence Borough are working together to develop a joint comprehensive plan, and we want your input. The plan will guide the future growth, development, and preservation of our communities, help the municipalities decide the vision for transportation, housing, parks, economic development, and more in our communities. All are welcome to participate in either of these 2 meetings. What you can expect is to learn about the comprehensive planning process, share your ideas and priorities, engage in discussions with community leaders, and help shape the policies for the future. So, certainly hope that we can get a good presence of people. There was a survey that got put out, and we were happy to hear that We had great participation, not only in Exeter Township, but around the entire area, and the last that we had heard, there was over 1,000 surveys that had been completed, which I think is great.
Yeah, and if you take note of the flyer, which again will be pushed out and on our website, you'll see there's a QR code there. So anyone who didn't take the survey will have an option to take the survey, and we hope that you do. We hope that you participate.
And they do ask for reservations if you're able. If not, though, it is an open forum. And then the second thing I have is I was approached by the Borough of St. Lawrence Council. Just some informative news. They have decided, pending approvals, I guess from the state, I'm not quite sure, that they would like to take out the Elm Street and 562 St. Lawrence Avenue traffic signal. So the initial plan will be that will go to a blinking light, so it'll be yellow blinking on St. Lawrence Avenue, and it'll be red blinking on Elm Street. And then they'll discuss at a later time whether they change that traffic light out to a stop sign. But that currently has not been decided yet. So once they have approvals, their plan is to go to a blinking traffic signal.
Just curious, from administration standpoint, do you see any impact to any of our transportation due to that? Obviously, the only building that would be affected here is administration at that point.
We do have a number of stops along St. Lawrence Avenue with students that get off, and we do have a stop right there at that particular stoplight. I was sharing with Tim when he told me this that that stoplight really hasn't been here all that long, about maybe 15, 20 years, so it's a rather new addition. And oftentimes when kids are getting off at the bus stop there, it does create some confusion to the traffic, the oncoming traffic, as well as the people turning one way or another from Elm to St. Lawrence Avenue, because they see the light is one color. They might not notice the flashing lights on the bus. So, I think we'll have to maybe revisit that particular stop as well. So.
And I know it was discussed at the borough's township meeting. I'm not sure if they are, do you know if they're recorded, Mr. Mel?
They're on, the meetings are on YouTube, at
Yeah,
least.
so
as far
I
as
would
know.
refer, if people would like additional details, to refer back to the recording for the meeting or reach out to a councilman for the Borough of St. Lawrence.
Yeah, if anything, the meeting minutes should be on their website as well.
Yep.
Yep.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Morgan. Then we'll move on to public comments for non-agenda items. Again, no one has signed up unless someone would like to come up and speak. All right, and try not to run over each other getting up there, but nobody is coming up anyway. Are there any board members that would like to be heard at this time? All right. Our next meeting will be our Committee of the Whole meeting on Tuesday, March 4th at 6 p.m. There will be an executive session immediately following the adjournment of this meeting to discuss safety and security. If there are no objections, we'll adjourn the meeting.